What's up, Barnhill family, and welcome back to the channel.
Yo.
So, Nick, another recap video. Belal Muhammad, Vicente Luque. This one did go all 5 rounds. Belal rectifying that loss he had by KO from Luque earlier in his career back in 2016. This a totally different fight. This one went all 5 rounds, and it was really the grappling and movement and elusiveness of Belal that won the fight for him.
Yeah, and they didn't talk too much about this being a rematch, but it was, and Luque got his hand raised last time, which I guess has been quite some time now since Belal's been able to string together a pretty impressive win streak lately, but the fight, to an average fight fan probably wasn't the most exciting. I did think there was a lot of number one contendership and future title implications on the line here because they do seem like two of the guys that are for sure in the next 18, 24 months that are likely going to be getting title shots. And, either a few more wins for Belal or a big finish in some sort of impressive fashion once again for Luque probably would have done something good for him. But it did fall a little bit flat for the masses. I think, if you're a hardcore, you enjoyed the fight, but everybody else probably lost interest midway through. And it was hard to get into because the fight was just so evenly matched, and these guys knew exactly what both of each other were bringing to the octagon.
Yeah, for sure. And Belal did not want to go out early like he did last time, and that was very apparent. He was playing it safe, but he had a smart strategy. Luque is the come-forward power puncher. He's very athletic. He hits very hard, and actually had Belal seriously hurt in that 3rd round. So Belal's strategy, I can't knock him too much because it was effective and it did work, but it was very clear that he wanted to move around, use a body kick, and then time a beautiful takedown off of the cage to sort of get Luque on the ground in the middle of the octagon and work his ground and pound from there and try to advance position, win rounds, rinse and repeat. Belal Muhammad is a very good fighter. The thing I think about Belal, why people haven't really gotten behind him, is because when you talk about, what is Wonderboy good at? Oh, man, he's an amazing striker. What is Khabib good at? My God, he's got the best ground and pound and cage takedowns that the UFC's ever seen. What makes Israel Adesanya great? His just incredible next-level striking. But then you think about Belal, and it's like, well, he's kind of just good at everything. He's like a 7.5, 8 out of 10 across the board. Jiu-jitsu, grappling, cage work, striking, cardio. He's just kind of right there in the upper middle class, if you will, of each of those categories, but not stellar in any. And the one stat that really sticks out when you think about the future marketability of Muhammad is the fact that almost 80% of his wins, 76.7% of his wins, have come by way of decision. He's got very few knockouts and only 1 submission. So in a division that's as stacked as 170, it's going to be tough for Belal to break through with this style.
Yeah, he's got an ability to win. He's very good with game plans at executing. He can get the fight to the ground usually, and maybe he's not able to submit a lot of people from there, but he is able to dictate where the fight takes place. And his striking looked good last night. It looked better than it has in the past, and I think you're right. He's really good at everything. He's really good at mixed martial arts, but he's not a specialist, and so
Right.
1 or 2 things don't really stick out for him. The one issue I have with this, and I did think that, with number 5 going in against number 6, there was some potential for somebody to steal the show, and we're always, giving recency bias as MMA fans. If something happens amazing on one weekend and then the next following weekend, a fight upstages them that's in the same division, we can forget all about that fight that happened last weekend. And that was sort of the situation that we had for this weekend. We had Burns and Chimaev, and that was a really important fight for the 170 division. But if Luque or Belal were able to come in and steal the show, we would have maybe forgotten a little bit about that fight and might have been looking at, okay, well, if Colby's kind of playing hardball and we're not really sure who's going to, when Kamaru's going to fight Leon Edwards or who Chimaev's going to fight next, maybe we'll look at pairing up the winners, Chimaev and Belal, versus the losers, who would be Luque versus Burns, and, see something like that. But they didn't really do enough to steal the thunder from Chimaev Burns, and that's why I think that people are going to look at those 2 fights as sort of like a semifinals for number 1 contendership, and I think people are going to lean towards the Chimaev Burns side rather than the Belal Luque side, and I can't really blame them for that. The fight was good, but it wasn't fireworks. It wasn't fight of the year contender like the Chimaev Burns fight.
Yeah, definitely not. And I think Khamzat Chimaev sits squarely above Belal Muhammad, given the type of performance and the type of win. I mean, to go in there against Gilbert Burns and absolutely throw down in a Fight of the Year candidate, especially when you already have all that hype coming behind you, does kind of put you ahead of the pack. But Belal hasn't lost in his last 8 fights, won 7 of them. And then there was obviously that no contest with Leon Rocky Edwards. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the champ now. We all think he's going to be fighting Leon, and I think Leon's probably the rightful guy to get the next shot. Colby's probably the best next guy, but he's already fought Kamaru and lost twice. So likely what we're going to see now is Leon Edwards get his shot. We're going to see that Chimaev-Covington fight materialize. The winner of that is probably going to fight the winner of Rocky versus Kamaru, and Belal Muhammad is just going to have to chill and probably honestly have to take one more fight before he gets that title shot that he's trying to get.
Yeah, and this sport is so interesting, especially this division, because oftentimes in sports you go off of merit and you go off the things you've done, your body of work. Belal Muhammad has the perfect record over the last 7 or 8 fights. He's looked really, really good. He deserves a title shot. But this is more than just a sport. This is an entertainment business. This is promotional stuff. And right now, he's in a division that has a ton of characters.
Yeah.
Maybe the most character-rich division in the entire sport.
Certainly, yeah.
Kamaru Usman's his own thing. He's kind of too cool for everybody and also proving himself to be the GOAT. You've got Chimaev, who has come on. He's like a mix between Khabib and Conor, right? He's kind of like brash, but also really, powerful with his, his following and the background that he's got. Plus, he's kind of scary. You've got Colby Covington, who's the most polarizing figure the sport maybe has ever seen.
Yep.
And Belal and Luque, while they're great fighters, they don't quite move the needle like some of those guys I just named. And I think that that's what's going to hold them back. 8-0 is really impressive, but we've seen Tony Ferguson go 12 fights without a title, 12-fight win streak without a title. We've seen Khabib go 11. We've seen right now Islam Makhachev is going right there at 10, something like that. So Belal Muhammad might have to do a little bit more heavy lifting at the top of 170, but if he keeps doing what he's doing, he will become undeniable, and I do think he'll get a title shot sooner than later. But he's definitely going to have some more work ahead of him.
That's for sure. And don't even forget Masvidal in the division.
God, how could I forget?
Conor McGregor probably coming up to 170. Who knows what's happening with Nate Diaz? Dustin Poirier is looking pretty beefy these days.
Wonder Boy
Thompson. I mean, you talk about star-studded division. If Conor does come into the division, and so does Poirier, there is not even a shadow of a doubt what the most exciting and star-studded division in all the sport is. So if you want a title shot in that division, you've got to win, and you've got to win emphatically. And I know that's not Belal's style, but if you win by points and that's kind of your thing, you've got to find a way to make it entertaining. You've got to be riveting. You've got to be making the fans want to see you in there fighting for those titles. And while I was very impressed with the movement against the cage, the body kicks, the timing of the takedowns, the fact that he got one in almost every round, the survival of the adversity when he got hit with that really hard, short right hook by Luque. Listen, I'm deeply impressed with the performance. I just don't think it was enough to win over most fans to where they want to see Belal Muhammad jump in there with Kamaru Usman just yet.
Yeah, those superstars do get some sort of a privilege, and I'm not here to say whether that's right or wrong, but Belal Muhammad is definitely in the deep waters with all those guys, and we could see him in a title fight soon, but I think he might have to do a little bit more lifting before that.
I think you're right. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Drop us a comment and let us know, what did you think of Belal Muhammad's performance, and should he get a title shot based off of this Luque win? We love chatting with you in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.